Good evening and welcome. You're watching Trending Tonight with me, Sanket Upadhyay. Two stories that we are going to track, but story number one is very, very significant. You see, the Taliban is trying to tell in Afghanistan that they are a changed lot. Some are calling it in the international media as Taliban 2.0, a Taliban that is more accepting of change, more liberal, if that word can ever be used for a terrorist organization called Taliban. They're also promising the women of Afghanistan that trust us. We mean no harm. We only want the best for you. And a lot will be allowed. You'll be allowed to go to office, you'll be allowed to work, you'll be allowed to move around. But the point is, can the women of Afghanistan trust this organization, the Taliban, this terrorist organization, Taliban? Will women actually be free in a Taliban rule? What does history say? And more importantly, and we'll give you a breakup of what the Taliban is saying versus what is happening to women even now. You forget the past, 96 to 2001. Even now, what is happening to women in this Taliban rule, in this hostile takeover by the terrorist organization. So the Taliban claims versus reality right here on this show in just a short moment from now. Also on the show, Taliban finds a special mention in the Uttar Pradesh Vidhan Sabha, with the Chief Minister now raking this issue up, saying that the opposition, particularly the Samajwadi Party, is soft on the Taliban. Is Taliban now becoming a poll issue in Uttar Pradesh? We have seen it reach the Vidhan Sabha. Could it very soon reach election rallies as well? Let's now quickly move to our story number one. What do women do in Afghanistan? Let's take a look at those graphics on the screen right now. So as of this moment, the information sourced from the UN, from World Bank, the information that we have is that 5% of the women, they go to college or university. Only 5% as of this moment. And remember, this has 20 years of the achievements that were done by the regimes apart from Taliban, that 5% of women went to college or university, 22% of them have jobs, 20% of them are civil servants in Afghanistan are females, 27% of women were MPs in July 2021. That's a remarkable record. In fact, a record that either matches or exceeds even India. 1,000 had their own business by 2019. All of this information sourced by UN, World Bank and Amnesty. You see, this is the achievement that the women in Afghanistan were able to achieve, and so much more was to be achieved. But now you have a terrorist organization which has taken over in a very hostile way, and they are assuring that nothing will change for you. Can they be trusted? Well, a crucial moment for women's rights in Afghanistan, says the UNICEF, is that an estimated 3.7 million children are out of school in Afghanistan. 60% of them are girls. So they're struggling to be able to give women and the girl child the rights that are required. Struggling very hard. There is lack of reliable access to sufficient and nutritious food. Now, let's take a look at this index. 66.5% among Afghan women and 55.3% among Afghan men. So you can see that a majority of the women in Afghanistan are having to suffer because of lack of reliable access to sufficient and nutritious food. And this is despite the achievements of the past 2 decades. The situation is still very bad. And then a regime comes through a hostile takeover saying, we will improve your condition. What has the Taliban said? Let's see that. Taliban says we'll protect women's rights under Sharia. Instructions that can cover range of policies or behavior. That is what the Sharia is. Sharia also says that Islam's legal system is based on the holy book of Quran, Sunnah, Hadith and rulings from religious scholars. Of course, the interpretation of Sharia, what is that going to be in Taliban, is not known. acts as a code of conduct for Muslims to lead every aspect of life according to God's wishes, but as interpreted by the Taliban, we do not know. Often, Sharia systems compete with the formal legal systems. So that is the position as of this moment. Now let's quickly get you that comparison, and the comparison that I was talking about. What the Taliban is promising to the women of Afghanistan and what is the reality right now. Right now, not even going into 1996 and 2001 to rake up their record. What have they promised and what are they doing right now? And this is the reason why women in Afghanistan do not trust the Taliban. Let's take a look at that one by one. What has Taliban promised? Women to have all rights. And then after that, the reality is that they have added a rider only if they comply by Sharia law. Now, what will be the interpretation of the Sharia law? The interpretation will be provided by men, Talibani men. They will decide how to interpret the Sharia, exactly how they did in 1996. Then they say jobs, education, and a possible role in politics for women. The truth is that women have been turned away from banks in Kandahar. This is happening over the past few days. You don't even have to turn to 1996. This is happening right now. They say there will be no work disruptions and continuing work profiles, a general amnesty. The truth is, and we've seen those pictures, posters of women have been removed from shops in Kabul because the Taliban does not like to see posters of women wearing makeup. Next, there is a massive PR propaganda machinery of the Taliban trying to project them as this really softy organization which cares so much about women, showing images of women going to study and what this new and improved Taliban actually means. But the truth is that there is a possibility of curbs on markets and market visits without men. And also in Herat, news coming in of women being turned away from universities. All of that is happening right now. Right now. Next, the Taliban tried to show to the world that we give interviews to female anchors in Afghanistan. But the reality is that in the very same Afghanistan, a female anchor of the state broadcaster was turned away from the workplace. So, the image that is being created versus the reality right now, and also the experience that the women in Afghanistan have had of the Taliban in the past, make it incredibly hard for the women to believe that Taliban will do any good to the women in Afghanistan. I would like to introduce our first set of guests. Adiba Kakumi, she is 21 years old. She left university fearing the Taliban. She is living in Delhi for the past 1 year. We also have Razia Masumi, Afghan lawyer and human rights activist, lives in the Netherlands. Thank you very much to the two of you. Adiba, I would like to begin with you first. When you see the Taliban promising women of Afghanistan that we are a changed lot, that we are very different, we will allow women equal rights, can you really trust them?
Actually, first of all, we never trust them because we have experience of before what they do before. You know, before the treatments women by Taliban, when we study these treatments, you will find out that they were the animal in before. Now they wanna like this is I think this is a fake phase of them that they show that they are just change their treatment. They will allow women, but we as a woman, as a girls, I never trust them. I never believe them, and these are all just fake news that announced by them. We will never trust them.
And this sadly is the reality. I mean, you are engaging this massive worldwide propaganda where you're getting people to go soft on you and create this image that Taliban is actually a very liberal organization which will do a lot of good to women than harm. But how does this really work? Ms. Masumi, I want to come to you now. Experience of the past and the experience of the reality, the women who are living this reality right now over the past few days. Do you think they can be trusted, or women can trust Taliban?
Absolutely. All the experience that we had from past times and also comparing to the current situation, nothing has been changed. All those patriarchy background, traditional thinking of Taliban and all those extremists still have a very strong root in the community of which are working against women. We had saw that we were witness that they were committed many suicide attacks, especially they targeted Afghan women in front of female schools, and also they killed and assassinated female activists and journalists. So we are not going to trust them. Now they are speaking about publishing that it's a public amnesty, that everyone is protected under their authority, but it is just to say. When they are defining what is the Islamic legislations, it's really not clear what do they have, what do they want, what do they propose for women. But now we want to bring this dialogue, yeah? It is our time to speak up and communicate with them. Our rights that we expected, we also make it as a resolution. We were like 15,000 of female Afghan activists that we created the Afghan Women for Peace movement. We already made resolutions about our rights, what do we expect from peace process and these negotiations. We cannot be ignored or overlooked with any other politicians. So we have a huge contribution for the development of the country. The world thinking logical and they are rational, yeah? They cannot manage and administer the government without women's contribution.
Correct.
We do need knowledge, yeah? We do need people who have crucial role to communicate with the world. Now, who is listening to them? World are interviewing with us every day, but they are just, they want to just escape from all those, crimes that they have been committed. And somehow they want to pretend
Ms.
that
Masumi,
our hands are clean.
We asked a lot of viewers certain questions, and they said that with a gun in your hand, moving around the streets of Kabul and the rest of Afghanistan, you are telling the women that we'll protect your rights. And how will you protect? Because the problem is that the perpetrator wants to protect, and that's unfortunately the problem. I want to ask you this question, Ms. Masumi. What would you say to certain members who have taken up this massive PR exercise on behalf of the Taliban to project them as this organization which cares for women, in fact which will allow women to flourish and grow and create a liberal society for women? What about this massive PR exercise?
Yes, and we already started petitions, collecting letters from women that what do they expect. Also our male counterparts that they were assisting us for all this accomplishment that we are seeing it today, and we do not let anyone to take or to destroy these achievements. So we have like rule number 1 is, what about our education? Rule number 2 is, there should be no forced marriages. They all are written in Islamic religious.
And you fear that this is all still happening?
No, it is not happening. You know, the Taliban invaded in other provinces, so they started to engage women already. And they announced that a woman cannot go outside the house without escorting of a male member of the family. So it is a big sign of fear that they want to spread among us. And
Adiba, I want to come back to you now. Adiba, I want to come back to you now and want to ask you, do women actually feel that it will be in a matter of months or years or days that this sheep in or a wolf in sheep's clothing will be seen, the reality will be seen by everyone, that ultimately the Taliban, which is trying to put up this pretense, will get back to doing exactly what they do and torture women. Do you fear, is this a fear that they will do exactly the same thing to women? Adiba.
Okay. I think, yeah, it's a fearful things that they will exactly do whatever they've done before. These days, see, all universities closed and also the schools closed. No girls, boys, or no one can go to school. Why it's happened? If they say that they will change their treatments to women, they will change their strategy. So why these things happen? Why now all girls stuck in home? Why no one can go to school? So it's sure, it exactly show that they didn't change, they never change. And see, also we are aware that students from university
Sure.
get away from university and they
Okay, there seems to be an audio problem there in your connection, Adiba, but I guess we get the point. Thank you very much to the two of you. The point is that even now, while they're claiming and they want the world and particularly the women of Afghanistan to believe that this is a changed lot and a changed Taliban, the reality is that women are still living in terror. We had an interview of an Indian journalist who came from Afghanistan and said the moment Afghani women learnt that the Taliban has reached Kabul, they broke down. It was the horror of 1996 to 2001 that came right in front of their eyes. So can you really believe them? That's the big question. Moving on now, Taliban is also a hot topic of discussion in Uttar Pradesh, in UP politics, where the Chief Minister, no less, has brought this up in the Vidhan Sabha. Let's listen in to what the Chief Minister said.
अध्यक्ष जी, तालिबान का समर्थन कर रहे हैं कुछ लोग, महिलाओं के साथ क्या क्रूरता बरती जा रही है, वहां पर बच्चों के साथ क्या क्रूरता बरती जा रही है अफगानिस्तान में, लेकिन कुछ लोग बेशर्मी के साथ तालिबान का समर्थन किए जा रहे हैं, तालिबानीकरण करना चाहते हैं। ये सभी के चेहरे एक्सपोज किए जाने चाहिए समाज के सामने।
So even when the central government is yet to decide whether we should engage with the Taliban or not, or talk to the Taliban or not, in Uttar Pradesh, speaking in favor of the Taliban is actually being seen as a political taboo by the BJP, by Yogi Adityanath. Is this a build-up to the 2022 elections where Taliban is going to be used as an issue? Certain utterances were made by the Samajwadi Party MP also. I would like to welcome Mr. Naved Sarim, a lawyer and also Samajwadi Party sympathizer. In just a short moment, we'll have a representative from the BJP also. Naved Saab, I want to ask you this question. Do you think that it is a matter of regret and shame that many leaders and many people actually are coming across sympathizing the Taliban and basically saying that let's give them a chance, let's give them a shot at power, and they don't see the harm of Taliban being a terrorist organization?
Sanket, if they don't see the harm, I'm sure they will see it very shortly. There has been a naive attempt, there has been a naive trend in the last 5-6 days, not only in India but internationally, to try and say that perhaps the Taliban have turned over a new leaf, perhaps that something new can be expected from them. That is not going to happen. The history of this group is before us.
Naved Saab, I'm sure you must have heard the statements of Samajwadi Party leader Shafiqur Rahman Burk, who's the Lok Sabha MP from Sambhal, who said,
Yes.
You want Afghanistan to be free and want to run their own country. He was talking in the reference of Taliban, saying that it is now free and they want to run their country. It is this statement which has now become, a political hot potato in Uttar Pradesh, where the Chief Minister has launched a counter-attack.
You must also be aware that he said that he'll be misinterpreted. I've not heard exactly what he said, but I would like to give him the benefit of the doubt that he was misinterpreted, because this is an issue I think that which there is broad clarity throughout. In fact, today I don't want to score political points, but just today I was reading a story that a BJP MLA in Tripura has said that we will counter TMC in Talibani style. Now that doesn't mean he supported Taliban, right? I think on this issue we are all together. There is a misguided, naive understanding that perhaps the Taliban have changed, and unfortunately I think the Taliban have already started showing that they have not changed.
Do you fear that the discourse around Taliban is going to be used in the run-up to the Uttar Pradesh elections? I mean, you've seen the Chief Minister talk about it very openly. He's commented on the comments of certain Samajwadi Party leaders, and not just SP leaders, many other people also who seem to be either sympathetic towards the Taliban from Uttar Pradesh, or they seem to suggest, let's give them another chance. Do you think that this will become a political issue in the run-up to UP elections?
No, I don't think so. Ultimately, Afghanistan is very far away. Ultimately, we are all concerned about India, its constitution and its rule of law. And I think one thing that we are all agreeable for is that the rule of law must prevail in India. Now, I have a lot of friends in UP, I work in UP a lot. And I think what people are more concerned about is, bread and butter issues, not Taliban or not anything. There have been some attempts like renaming Aligarh. I don't know whether they're going to do it or not, but they want to rename Aligarh as Harigarh. So there seems to be some political strategy behind it. I don't think it will succeed.
Okay. I have Mr. Alok Vats, leader of the BJP, also with us. Mr. Vats, the feeling is, and Nawaz Saab is saying that there is a feeling that, the BJP is again trying to attempt to polarize on the basis of religion. Do you think that this new strategy of questioning the Taliban and questioning some people for their sympathy towards Taliban is also basically directed at creating a sort of a polarized narrative between the Hindus and the Muslims?
After making me wait for a long time, you have given me this opportunity to speak. Thanks a lot. किसने बोला ये बात? Who has said this? There are people in India who are trying to establish, who are trying to say what has happened in Taliban is good. Like the Imran Khan has said, जंजीरों से मुक्ति दे दिया. Do you think this is also the language of people in India? Only a few pocketed people who have vested interests, who are terrorists, who back terrorists, who live with terrorists, who
Can
work
you
with
name
terrorists.
these people? Can you name these
No.
people? See,
I
the point
cannot
is,
name
I'm
these
sure
people.
you are referring to the statements
I
of
cannot name
Shafiqur
these
Rahman
people.
Burke. Shafiqur Rahman says
No,
that
no,
my
no.
statement
I
was
will
misrepresented.
I will not name any people because I am not the authority to do so. Naming me, you must have concrete proof. I don't have that. But yes. let
No,
me tell you one
then
thing.
where does this comment come
Let me-
from that there are people who are sympathizers? If you don't have concrete proof, and do you feel that this is being
From their
converted into a
language,
political and
from their
poll
language,
issue in Uttar
from their
Pradesh?
behavior, it is evident. It's evident from their language, from their behavior.
Mr. Vats, my final question, I just want to ask you, do you think that Taliban and sympathy or so-called sympathy towards Taliban will be made a poll issue in Uttar Pradesh? I mean, the Chief Minister has spoken about it in the Vidhan Sabha.
Yes, certainly. If atrocities on women, atrocities on children are tolerated by people of UP, whosoever it may be, that community must be taken to task.
Mr. Vats,
You cannot be inhuman.
Mr. Vats,
You have to be human.
this great amount of clarity that you have as of this moment
I
about the
always have clarity in my
Taliban
thoughts.
is something which the
Sanket,
government of India as of
Sanket.
this moment does not have.
Sanket, you have seen me.
They are
right
waiting and
around.
watching.
You have been seeing me speaking and watching.
Alok
I'm
Saab,
always
I have
clear.
seen your position, but as of this moment, your government in the center at this moment is waiting and watching. We don't see
Of
this
course,
great clarity
of
that
course.
Alok Watts has
Of course.
in the
globally,
positions of the government.
Looking at the situation at the present, India has to only wait and watch. What can it do? We have already invested so much money there. It's all at stake.
Fair
हमारे
enough.
व्यापारियों का करोड़ों रुपए वहाँ फंस गया है. What can we do about it?
Fair enough.
We are just helpless.
But I think
Lekin
I'm glad that both Naved ji as well as Alok Watts agree
No.
that for anyone who sympathizes with a
humanitarian
terrorist organization, I've run out of time, for anyone who sympathizes with a terrorist organization called the Taliban right now and feels that they are, the new harbinger of liberalism in the world is sadly mistaken. History will repeat itself. And I don't know why a lot of people are willing to give Taliban this chance. Why this sympathy is what we ask. Good night and good night.